6 common tropes that are found in Gothic fiction. Now, when I say Gothic fiction, I'm primarily talking about Gothic horror, but this also applies for Gothic romance and some dark fantasy too. Number 1 is isolation. Now, this can be the isolation of the spirit or physical isolation. So think of the isolated castle, the haunted house, the place that is not like the rest of society. So if we've got haunted castles, for example, they're usually far off, away from where the average person lives. And we've also got isolation of spirit, so the isolation of the individual. So think of Eleanor Vance in The Haunting of Hill House. And then we also have the isolation of characters in The Woman in White, and we've also got isolation in The Woman in Black. In The Woman in Black, Arthur Kipps, the lawyer who goes to clear the estate of the deceased Mrs. Drablow, finds himself isolated from the rest of the community because Mrs. Drablow lived in an old house on a little island that is only accessible certain times of the day when the tide is out. This was a perfect setting for a Gothic story. We've also got isolation in Wuthering Heights, so think of where Kathy lives with her family. It's quite isolated, it's not in the centre of town, it's just on the outskirts, they don't have neighbours close by. Isolation is a really important feature in Gothic fiction. Another key component of Gothic fiction is a locked door. Now again, this can be metaphorical, it can be literal. Is it a locked door in a house, such as The Haunting of Hill House? Or is it a metaphorical locked door? This could be a locked door in the character's mind. This could be a locked door it's a symbol of a barrier that characters either can't overcome or they can't penetrate and get through to. The locked door often represents the mystery in the story. Once you unlock the door, you uncover the secret. Now, this isn't an essential one, but another one is the supernatural. Again, it's not essential. Sometimes even ghosts aren't literal. Ghosts can represent the regrets of characters or things that they've buried deep down or memories that haunt them. It doesn't always have to be an actual ghost. Same if we do want to be literal, we're looking at the vampire. So think of Dracula and how he doesn't just represent this monster, he also represents an external threat that is going to change the way the characters live their lives. Again, supernatural is absolutely not essential. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is very much a Gothic book, and there's no supernatural elements in that one. Forbidden Desires. Now, this is a really important one, and if you've read The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe, we've got Forbidden Desires in the siblings. There's some hints that there might be a bit more going on there than just brother and sister. We also got Forbidden Desires could also be the deal that you make with the devil, or the presence of a vampire. So vampires, for example, they represent seduction, they represent the forbidden fruit, the damned, those who chose to walk away from God, for example. And forbidden desires are often so strong that the character will forget their morality in order to get them. So think of Faustus, so classic Faustian Gothic is where the character desires something so much, they are willing to make a deal to get it. You know, even if the outcome for them isn't great. We also have a favourite one. This one appears in Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights. Most kind of classic romantic novels is the Byronic hero. Now, the Byronic hero is usually tormented. He could be the hero, he could be the villain, he could be the anti-hero. This is not exclusive to Gothic horror, but it is a feature. So think of Mr. Rochester in Jane Eyre. He is a Byronic hero because he has his own faults, he has his dark secrets. He desires a new start with someone who's pure. The Byronic hero is usually tormented by things that they've done. They've usually got a mysterious allure and a tendency to self-destruct. They're the kind of heroes that we always kind of root for, but only because of the relationship with the main character. Byronic hero, as you may have guessed, was inspired by Lord Byron, who did have a tendency to self-destruct and couldn't help but touch a scandal. Another key theme in Gothic fiction is love and decay. These are so common. So the hero is often in search of love and acceptance, but there's usually a cost or destruction. Romance, it can also be doomed love, and it falls under this umbrella. So think of the siblings in The Fall of the House of Usher again. Wuthering Heights, which people argue, obviously, I mean, it's not the most straight up romance, but there is an element of obsession, and they are doomed. Anyone who goes near Heathcliff is doomed. These are the key features of Gothic fiction. Do you have any others that you know of?